Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after we recite a concise meditation manual. From an evolutionary perspective, stress is anything that circumstantially, physically, interpersonally, or mentally inhibits our ability to survive and thrive as a species. We come now to craving, the second noble truth. We evolved a collection of survival instincts to endure our stressors. These are fine when used sparingly, but since the Neolithic Revolution, we as a species have overused them. Enslaved by the fleeting short-term pleasures of our dopamine-oriented reward system, we become defined by our controlling tendencies. And as such, over-focus, over-analyze, and over-believe to such a degree. We exhaust our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex, which triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, causing cowardice, competition, and cruelty to be the guiding light wherewith we needlessly squander our brief human lives. We come now to liberation, the third noble truth. The fulfillment for which we yearn could only be delivered by our oxytocin-oriented system that rewards for cooperation and kindness. This meaningful path is eightfold. Path, which is the fourth noble truth. Let us forsake the exhausting habit of actively fighting against our autonomic nervous system and instead cooperate with it. Mindfulness, the seventh fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. During each inhalation, spontaneous and uncontrived, the sympathetic nervous system centered in the middle bit of our spinal cord is already wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly watch our perceptions. The sights, sounds, sensation, flavors, and scents of the four bases of mindfulness, the circumstantial, physical, interpersonal, and mental, including our ability to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Instead of indulging our controlling tendencies to shove at circumstantial danger, physical pain, interpersonal scorn, and mental shame, and as such, as well as reach for safety, bliss, praise, and fame, we are vulnerable to all that we experience, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Meditation is the eightfold. What are we to do with all that we watch? Simple. With every exhalation, the top bit and the bottom bit of that same spinal cord, known as our parasympathetic nervous system, is already wired to rest in such a manner that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Until, of course, the next inhalation when the cycle begins again. Like the ticking pendulum of a grandfather clock. Wisdom, the first fold. As we sit and breathe and watch and rest, all that we notice effortlessly feels impermanent, evanescent, and utterly subject to change. Love, the second through fifth folds. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more our angry and aggressive amygdala is calmed. The more our empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus is gently stimulated, so marinating our experience of the four bases of mindfulness. Mental. That mentally our intentions are spontaneously kinder, interpersonally our utterances are spontaneously kinder, physically our conduct is spontaneously kinder, and circumstantially our commerce too is spontaneously kinder. Flow, the sixth fold. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more we automatically experience the effortless effort, or wu-wei, that comes not from calculated contrivance nor from wild scatteredness, but from love's deeply centered spontaneity. Mastery. Let us transcend our elitist conditioning to consider the possibility that enlightenment is merely mastery of this eightfold path. As children, the skills to use the toilet, brush our teeth, tie our shoes, and ride a bike felt insurmountable. And yet, with time and effort and tears, we so mastered these skills that we could perform them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Enlightenment's eightfold path is effortless. Perhaps that is why in the second to final passage of his discourse on the four bases of mindfulness, the Buddha explained that one could master this path in as little as 7 days. So, once every 12 hours or so, may we sit and breathe and watch and rest. Having completed our opening recitation, we could now shift gears. It is Qui-Gon Jinn Tuesday evening. Let us meditate like Jedi after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Sende Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. And so, for the remainder of this live stream, as a team, we could sit and breathe and watch and rest. But you're not alone in this. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist or Taoist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for periodically I will check for questions. Let us rest the great knuckle, the base of our right middle finger, upon the tip of our left middle finger palms up in our lap. There is a great big fat ugly lie that was summed up quite eloquently by the 1980s New Age band X. A refrain in one of their songs was, "I must not think bad thoughts." Wherever there are fundamentalists, wherever there are those who are rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, there will be the thought police, the emotion police, telling us we should not post different perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, or imaginings. For doing so will draw bad things to us like iron filings to a magnet. My, what a metaphysical cage we can lock ourselves in, given half the chance. But the great luminaries have taught us that we can use the fundamental duality of dread and desire in our favor. Whenever we perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, or imagine something dreadful, of course our brain already pushes against it. We don't have to make that happen. It knows to do it on its own. We have survival instincts. Similarly, whenever we perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, or imagine something positive, we're already wired to reach for it. We don't need a vision board. We don't need affirmations. We don't need journaling. It's already there. And so by watching and resting whatever comes up is the most natural and efficient way for us to free ourselves, protect ourselves from bad stuff, and draw to ourselves the good stuff in a way that, in keeping with Dzogchen, is effortless, in a way in keeping with Wu Wei, in a way in keeping with the sixth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path, which is effortless effort. As we sit and breathe and watch and rest, we don't have to judge or evaluate what we notice. All we need to do is cooperate with our central nervous system. There's no need for belief. There's no need for pseudo-intellectual mental gymnastics. There's no need for Herculean concentration. These things do much more harm than good. Just sit and breathe and watch and rest. For instance, if fears of fascism, prison camps, executions cartwheel across the stage of our mind, we don't have to force ourselves to push that away. We already experience a deep, 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 visceral, primal aversion to that. And on the other hand, when visions of mutual aid, cooperation, kindness, ideas of a moneyless, classless, rulerless system breakdances upon the stage of our mind. We don't have to reach for it. We don't have to scheme and make it happen. We're already wired to be drawn to those things. And so it's safe. It's safe. At last we found something that is safe. It's safe to sit and breathe and watch and rest. Together, let us recite the 8th chapter of the 8th song of the 2dec25. If you wish to recite with me, you're welcome to join me on the 2 app. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, do not try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to simply be yourself, and do not compare or compete, everybody will respect you. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this teaching, this channel. In about 11 hours, I would very much like to return to the tomorrow's first recitation and meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.